Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Nick Maruziak. Alex is starting her weekend while avoiding us.
That's probably a wise bet. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. Beaver Creek Popcorn Festival is this weekend. Of course, it's a great time to get out, enjoy some popcorn, but you do want to keep in mind parking can be a headache, so plan ahead.
Cheddar, white popcorn, or kettle corn, or caramel corn.
White cheddar popcorn is the best.
Yeah, let's be honest. That's the
go.
That's the top tier, right?
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
It goes caramel, and if you want to throw peanuts in there,
I don't mind sweet popcorn, but I'm definitely the cheesy popcorn. Just like our jokes.
You are. I was going to go there too. He beat me to it.
Yep.
All right, Warped Wing announcing a new addition to the lineup. You can get Ermel's Dunkelweizen Ale on tap and in 6-pack cans. That is a dark wheat beer.
That's why I gave you this read, dude. I knew you'd be able to tell me whatever this beer was.
Yeah, it's a dark wheat beer. Think a Hefeweizen, like a wheat beer, except with some dark grains in it. It always is one of my favorite styles.
Fitting for the fall, very much an Oktoberfest kind of beer.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
That's what I'm here for. And, Nick, here we go. Thinking ahead to Christmas already. Okay, because they're looking for gingerbread homes for the holidays contest is now open. You get your submissions in by September 20th. Then they judge them so that they can be displayed downtown during the holiday season.
Once again, we have not hit, let's see, we just got past Labor Day. We still have Halloween to go. We still have Thanksgiving to go. Let me enjoy not even the beginning of fall before we get to Christmas.
I don't know. Just can you hear those sleigh bells ringing? I can. I mean, you look like Santa today with your red sweater, so maybe we're on to something here. And now our top story this morning. Tonight, the city of Richmond, Indiana invites you to join them for a prayer vigil. They're honoring the life of fallen K-9 officer Sierra Burton. Last August, Burton responded to a traffic stop and was shot in the head. She was rushed to Miami Valley Hospital in Dayton, where she died over a month later on September 18th. Richmond City Mayor Dave Snow says the prayer vigil is today to give her family privacy on the anniversary of her death. They'll be on the steps of the public municipal building starting at 6 o'clock. The Darke County Sheriff's Office now confirming a woman is dead from an explosion back in August. A camper exploded here at the 5900 block of Hahn Road, injuring 45-year-old Vicky Hartzell. Now, the Gettysburg Fire Department responded when she called 911 saying she was trapped. Crews got Hartzell out and took her to Miami Valley Hospital. She died August 29th. The Darke County Sheriff and the State Fire Marshal are still investigating.
Time to do some weather here, and we'll get to Lee, which has got an update here in the last couple of minutes, so we'll get to Lee in just as shortly. But let's focus in on our weather. It's been kind of unsettled, if you will. Nothing heavy duty, but we did have a couple of showers yesterday, mainly light sprinkles or areas of drizzle, and then every once in a while you'd actually catch a lighter shower. I think it could be that today, although it'd probably be just more cloudy skies. Note how temperatures should be able to get in mid to upper 70s. So if anything, it's not going to be necessarily that bad. Meanwhile, going out to the Friday night football games, temperatures 70s giving way to 60s. So good night for the pigskin. Last night, opening night of the NFL. I was way tucked into bed. Perhaps maybe tonight I'll take in some of the scores with old Mac Digby. All right, as for social media, just a reminder, we have your latest weather forecast posted there. Actually, just did that a little while ago, so that is fresh and ready. Meanwhile, on the roads, things are moving smoothly this morning. No major issues as of right now.
It's finally here. The annual Dayton Greek Festival is back, but slightly different this year. Melena Brown joins us live to explain it all. Melena.
Nathan, so many people love the Greek Festival, including some of you watching at home, and people look forward to it every single year. It is a little bit different this year. I'm not sure if you can tell. I'm in a parking lot, and right over to my left, you can see there's some grills set up. That's because it is going to be a drive-through service this year in the church parking lot where I am now. The church is under some renovations, but don't worry because the full festival will be back next year, and there's an easy way to order your food and pick a day and time. On your screen right now, you can see the menu for the Greek Fest Express. They have everything from gyros to spanakopita to pastries like baklava, and if you want some to take for the holidays, they do have frozen items that you can take home and save. Now, if you click on the order tab at the top of the screen, it's going to take you to where you can pick what you want and then head to checkout. You can pick up from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. today and tomorrow, and from noon to 6 p.m. on Sunday. And if you want, and you're going to want to order soon because there has been a ton of pre-orders.
I think we're looking close to 800 right now. I do believe we are out of our lamb chops, but we may be able to find some more. So that's fingers crossed.
Now, coming up in just a bit, I am going to share some of the fun history behind this awesome festival. Back to you.
The 17-year-old accused in the deadly shooting of a Lyft driver will now be tried as an adult. Tylen Peaks now faces murder and aggravated robbery charges. According to court documents, officials came to the decision because Peaks was mature enough to transfer out of the juvenile system. Peaks, DeTrayvon Mitchell, and 2 others are accused of robbing and killing 35-year-old Brandon Cooper. Tonight, the city of Trotwood hosting the first public launch event for their new communication strategy project. City officials want feedback from everyone living in Trotwood about how they want the city to communicate with them. Information sessions are today and tomorrow in the Goodwill Easter Seals campus, West Campus. These times are right there on your screen. Now, these public launch events give people the opportunity to learn more about the project. If you live in Trotwood, you can sign up for information sessions and complete a survey about the project at that website right there on your screen. That's TrotwoodSpeaks.com. The city of West Carrollton is sharing major plans for upgrades at information session last night. Lydia Bice shares details about this exciting new river project.
A hotel, apartments, dining options, and plenty of fun here on the Great Miami River. Those are all of the things that make up the city of West Carrollton's new multi-million-dollar river district.
Now a live look from the White House this morning, where the Biden administration has announced it's canceling a batch of controversial oil and gas leases in Australia's Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. But will the move see Americans paying more at the pump? National correspondent Audra Elnashar has more now from Washington.
More than 400,000 acres in a wildlife refuge in northeastern Alaska will be protected from oil and gas drilling, at least for now. The Biden administration's announcement this week that it's canceling 7 open Trump-era drilling leases is drawing praise from those who want to protect habitat for wildlife and disapproval from Alaska's Republican lawmakers. Senator Dan Sullivan claims the president is targeting his state, Senator Lisa Murkowski calling it unconscionable. The Energy Word's Dan Dicker is doubtful it will have any real impact on oil prices, largely because the leases did not prompt much drilling in the first place.
It's not really been a tremendous boon in terms of either production or revenues for either the oil companies or for Alaska, unfortunately.
Major oil companies passed on the opportunity to bid on the leases when they came on the market at the end of the Trump administration. Dicker says environmental protection concerns are just one reason many have gotten out of the Arctic altogether. Another is melting ice.
It actually makes it more difficult to solidify, to kind of anchor those rigs and get them in there.
On the other side of the world, a separate development that's much more likely to cause pain at the pump. Saudi Arabia and Russia announced they're extending oil production cuts of 1.3 million barrels per day through the end of the year. Average gas prices in the U.S. have been hovering around $3.80 per gallon for the past month.
Gas prices, they are ridiculous.
I think you'll see, again, triple-digit prices in oil and, $5.5 gasoline by the second quarter of 24.
Those kinds of price jumps could certainly make energy costs a central issue in the 2024 election, which could hurt President Biden. More broadly, a new CNN poll finds 64% believe his policies have failed to improve the economy. In Washington, I'm Atrel Nashar.
Good morning. We're going to start things out with Lee. This is our Category 5 hurricane, currently in the middle of the Atlantic, so not threatening land at this point. The only thing it is threatening is some really rough seas and also some rip currents in some of the leeward islands. We're pointing out that Lee, according to the National Hurricane Center, has not really gotten an eye wall replacement cycle, so it is about tip-top strength, although that eye is shrinking. What's interesting is the wind field is rather small. Now, we're going to jump things all the way into the Miami Valley, where, yet again, we're fairly quiet. Today, a fairly quiet day, other than the light rain showers like what we saw yesterday. Just kind of those intermittent ones that just make for not a great day, kind of a humid, dank day outside. Temperature-wise, I'm thinking mid to upper 70s today, so not exactly banner warm, but not that far off that it makes it crazy cold outside. Meanwhile, tonight, perhaps just a degree or two cooler than we are right now. If we're going out to the Popcorn Festival tomorrow, temperatures 70s, so not bad there in Beaver Creek. We are going to be looking at upper 70s Saturday and Sunday with lower end chances of rain. Basically, we're going to go from, and I'm just going to use this as a thing, but 20% today, 10% tomorrow, around 5% Sunday. You get the idea. We're talking about lower and lower rain chances with a lot of us staying dry, not just today, but also tomorrow and Sunday. Meanwhile, Tuesday seems to be your best chance of rain overall. I think some of that could extend into Wednesday. There are signs that Thursday, some of us, maybe even many of us, may not get out of the 60s. As for traffic this morning, it's a quiet morning commute. Weather is quiet as well, so optimistically, it should be a fairly okay one as you head out the door.
Our time right now, 5:16. Live long and prosper. Just ahead, we tell you why today is the perfect day for Trekkies. You're watching Your Day.
Good morning, and it's time for Pet of the Day, and today we got a good one. So let's get you to your weather forecast, and then we'll kind of talk about candy here for just a second. So temperatures today, mid to upper 70s. Perhaps the only thing that could be really, let's say, not even hazardous, but just kind of a nuisance would be, like yesterday, a very light shower or a sprinkle. Even, I don't even think we'll see as many or as much rain as we did yesterday. Now, let's talk dog today, because let's be honest, that's what we're here for, right? Anybody could air a dog walk forecast. We dive into the detail of the dog. Candy here is owned by Celeste, and Celeste notes that Candy decided to jump in a school bus in front of the house, and it smells like Celeste, who happens to be person who drives it. So Celeste, I believe, one of our local school bus drivers in the area, and if you are, big thank you for transporting all those kids. And you know, if it was not frowned upon or legal, or there were no laws against it, maybe you could take the dog there and make those kids really happy. All right, as for this morning, if you're driving, be careful of the school buses, obviously. Right for now, things moving smoothly on the interstates and state roads.
Coming up this week on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson, concerns and questions from Americans who are still dealing with COVID. One doctor turned medical detective who's treating more than 1,000 patients is producing some groundbreaking research. It's leading to novel treatments for people whose other doctors were mystified by their illnesses.
I always say it's almost like there's two worlds. There's before COVID and after COVID. And a lot of doctors are still living in the before COVID world where everything's in the textbook. But when you have a syndrome that comes before you and it happens to be associated with this new pathogen that everyone seems to have been in contact with, you've got to kind of open your eyes, open your ears, and also get into the literature and try to figure out what the heck's going on.
This week on Full Measure, Cheryl Atkinson speaks with researcher Dr. Jordan Vaughn about his findings. It's a can't-miss investigation in the premiere of Full Measure Season 9. You can watch Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson this Sunday at 7:30 a.m. right here on ABC 22, or at 10 a.m. and 10:30 p.m. on our sister station, Fox 45.
Blockbuster weight loss drugs Wegovy and Ozempic are being tested to treat addiction and dementia. Recent trials have pointed to the drug's efficacy in curbing major cardiovascular events and reducing heart failure-related symptoms. Well, 4 in 10 Americans say they put off going to the doctor. A survey from one poll in Patient Point found being potentially unable to afford their care was a top concern. Other reasons for avoiding doctor included anxiety about procedures or tests or fear of receiving some bad news. Well, many parents are worried about their unknown genetic history. A poll by 23andMe found some 80% of parents surveyed were concerned about the risk of unknown hereditary conditions because they don't know more about their family's health history. 52% of parents polled have taken a DNA test for health information. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
Live long and prosper. You're taking a look at StarTrek.com. Today is Star Trek Day, observed around the world every year on September 8th. Now, why September 8th? Well, that's because on that date in 1966 Star Trek was introduced on American television, starring William Shatner, of course, as Captain James T. Kirk. That first pilot episode was titled The Man Trap. The show became a huge hit and is still loved to this day. Star Trek is also known for being one of the first television shows to feature a diverse cast. Here's kind of the crazy thing. William Shatner, it's hard to believe, he's 92 years old.
Yeah.
That guy is just, he's still kicking good.
Yeah, and go back to that diverse cast. I believe that was the first on-screen kiss between a black woman and a white male. It was also one of the first casts to feature Russians. Of course, you have all of that history about the cast itself, but it's also like just a great show about exploration and humanity as well. So
yeah, and they're still trucking. I mean, they got like 1 million spin-offs on CBS. So there you go.
And I mean, you had the movies, the reboots years ago.
Chris Pine was great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, J.J. Abrams did that first one, so that was a great movie.
They're walking us off with the music like we're at the Oscars. Our time right now is 5:24. Still to come.
Greek Fest is here, and after the break, I'm going to show you how to order some of your favorites.
In today's Tech Bites, Google's newest smartphones. The company says the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are arriving October 4th. Google says the new devices feature the most advanced Pixel camera yet and Google AI. The new Pixel Watch 2 will also be launched on the same day. Snapchat is adding more methods to keep teens from connecting with strangers. New safeguards include making 13 to 17-year-old people harder to find in searches. There will also be a strike system for accounts that share age-inappropriate content. And finally, Polaroid has announced a new high-end camera. According to the company, the i2 contains the sharpest lens Polaroid has ever produced, along with built-in manual controls. The camera is available now. Expect to pay about $600. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Welcome to Blue Buffalo's One Taste is All It Takes.
Ruka likes food that tastes good. She won't eat anything she doesn't want to eat. She's a headstrong little lady. There's no faking it with her.
We sent you Blue Tasteful's dry food. And?
She loved it. I was super surprised. I want food that's healthy, nutritious, and something she'll love.
What's for dinner tonight?
It's Tastefuls from Blue Buffalo for this little girl.
Pick up Blue Tastefuls and find out why one taste is all it takes. Available in dry, wet, and singles.
For moms from Centrum. This new mom, here I go. I am strong and brave, I know. With a little time for me, no doubt I will get through. Loving me is loving you. New from Centrum, the Women's Choice multivitamin brand.
Okay, everybody, we're gonna need something for the international games.
Maybe I can reintroduce myself as Jalen Ramstein.
I like that.
And you can wear lederhosen. I look good in lederhosen.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Nick Marusiak. We are, well, Sans Alex today.
Waldorf and Astorf, what is that? Is that the
Waldorf
guy?
and Statler.
Statler.
Why do I always have to remind you, you old man?
That's because I have some problems up here. But we got three quick stories you're seeing on social this morning. The Dayton Dragons keeping the playoff hopes alive with a walk-off winner in the Water District. Sal Stewart's home run in the bottom of the ninth puts the Dragons just 2 games back of the Fort Wayne with 3 to play. Both teams are back tonight at Dayton Ballpark at 7:05. They also have the Party in the Plaza out there tonight, so that'll be fun. I'm going to the game Saturday.
Oh, nice. I was thinking of going to the game tonight, but I looked and I was just like, I'm going to sit on my porch.
That is the story of Nick Maruziak's life. I'm going to sit on the porch.
All right, Freddie Mercury's Yamaha Baby Grand sold earlier this week for, drum roll please, $1.7 million. Famous Queen lead man created the hit Bohemian Rhapsody on that piano. You know, normally we talk about the weird stuff that rich people buy, but I'll buy 1.7 million. That seems fair.
Let's just come up with that.
Yeah, it's like I have $2.
I got a $2 bill. That's it.
I have like
good old Jefferson.
I have to go into my car and count the coins in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could scrounge $3 up.
You'll make something happen. I love Bohemian Rhapsody, one of my top 5 favorite songs of all time.
Amazing.
Yep. And it is finally here. The annual Dayton Greek Festival is back, but slightly different this year. Melena Brown joins us live to explain it all. Melena.
Nathan, so many people, including some of the people watching at home, absolutely love the Greek Festival. Look forward to it every year. But like you mentioned, it is a little different this year. If you can see behind me, I'm in the church parking lot, but there's no tents. And that's because this year the church is under some renovations. So instead of shutting it down completely, they're just going to do a drive-through option where you can order food and then come pick it up. So if you look over to my left, you can see that there's grills set up, there's refrigerators. They're getting it all set up to get ready for this afternoon. They know that this festival has a really rich history. They didn't want to take it away. It started over 60 years ago as a way for the church parish members to come together for a yearly picnic, but quickly grew into a community festival. So on your screen now, you're going to see the menu for today's Greek Fest Express. They have everything from gyros to spanakopita to pastries like baklava. And if you want to have some for the holidays, they have frozen items that you can take home and save. Now, if you click on the order tab, it's going to take you to where you can pick up what you want and then head to checkout. And you can pick up from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. today and tomorrow, and from noon until 6 p.m. on Sunday. But don't worry, I am told that this is just going to be for this year. The renovation should be done by next year, and the festival is going to be back in full swing with lots of food, dancing, everything that everyone loves. And coming up in just a little bit, I am going to get a chance to head inside the parish where they're going to be making some of the amazing food. Back to you.
Thanks, Melena. Hurricane Lee is now a Category 5 storm. Yesterday's update from the National Hurricane Center says it has sustained winds of 160 miles per hour. The center of the storm is about 700 miles east of the northern Leeward Islands in the Atlantic Ocean. It took just 24 hours for Lee to climb from a Category 1 to a 5. It's still too soon to know if Lee will have an impact on the U.S. mainland. Nick, moments ago, we were just talking about this hurricane, and you were saying this could be one of the strongest storms ever recorded.
Yeah, I mean, this is Category 5 is, first of all, rare in itself. But when the National Hurricane Center says this has exploded well beyond their expectations, and it could get even stronger. Nathan, we're talking about, the potential for 180 mile an hour sustained winds. One thing that's noteworthy, though, it does seem like it may be undergoing either an eye wall replacement or that eye is getting quite small. Now, you happen to mention impacts to the mainland. Look at the track of this. It is well out to sea right now, but the ridge itself is over here, so we're tracking exactly where it goes. At the present point, the only thing that's noteworthy may be some of the islands picking up rip currents or things like that. Obviously, rough seas are possible as well.
Yeah, and for their sake, let's hope it moves away.
Yeah, exactly.
Florida's already had enough.
Yeah, exactly. Moves away and does that thing. Meanwhile, for us, no hurricanes, maybe just some light rain overall, especially if maybe, let's say you're putting the kids on the bus this morning, could end up being more just clouds than sun, but I'm not expecting any type of heavy duty weather. It'll be in the 60s, so we're talking about a fairly, let's say, comfortable start to the morning. Meanwhile, if you're going out the door today, temperatures will be in the mid 70s. But let's actually fast forward real quick to tonight. Why? Well, Nathan mentioned it. Of course, the Dragons are in town, and the Dragons themselves getting some decent weather at the ballpark. Temperatures in the 70s. So optimistically, they could keep those playoffs hopes alive. Now, as for us, Well, just a reminder, we're on social media there. We have posted your latest weather forecast, so go ahead and take a look at that. Traffic-wise, it's quiet. Haven't seen any tie-ups or concerns. A lot of trucks out there right now, but that's about it. Obviously, the school buses will be there as well. Keep that in mind. You want to give them plenty of room, especially in around those neighborhoods.
A man is expected to survive after being shot in the back in Jefferson Township. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office says it happened just before 3 p.m. yesterday. Now, officers found the man injured on State Route 35 near West 3rd Street. Deputies confirm it started at the Olive Hill Apartments nearby on Bronson Street. The shooting is still under investigation. Kettering City Schools announcing changes to its Rush Stadium policy. This after a teen student allegedly brought a handgun to this football game against Trotwood. Now, the new rules are posted to their Facebook page. Students will need to be in bleachers at all times. They will also now have to enter and exit through specific gates. The team's next home game is tonight against Northmont.
Going back?
Yes, we are going back to work.
I'll be happy to see my kids. I'm happy to go back to work, and just thankful that we could come to an agreement that works for everybody.
Lakota school bus drivers are back on the job today. Yesterday, the union approved a tentative agreement with the district. 86% of members approved the deal. The main problem leading to the strike wasn't pay, but instead about surveillance cameras and accountability. The new agreement allows the company to look at bus video and discipline drivers only for cardinal sins like fighting, dishonesty, alcohol, or drug concerns, but not for lesser offenses. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base promoting education in STEM fields by partnering with a local career technology center. The base is collaborating with Stebbins High School to enhance curriculums for science, technology, engineering, and math classes. The school and Wright-Pat both say they are excited to inspire and prepare students for STEM careers. And you're taking a live look at the Dayton VA Facebook page. The organization's holding a Patriot Salute to honor the victims of 9/11. It's tomorrow at the VA campus from 9:30 in the morning to 5 p.m. Now, all day long, you can see a card show, listen to live music, play cornhole, and visit your favorite food trucks and vendors. Plus, there will be a junior ROTC exhibit, and parking and attendance are free. Our time right now, 5:37. Don't forget, you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen and your weather at the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials. A school supply drive with extra meaning. Today in hometown hero, Adam Arrow highlights the area company stepping up for some area students. joining together to help students in our area. A local company did that and more this week. Adam Arrow shows us how they're hometown heroes.
With never-ending smiles, children at Edison Elementary School in Dayton discover a treasure trove.
It's like Christmas, you know, they're coming in, the beautiful book bags, the pencils, the pens, everything brand new. We know due to the economy, a lot of our families aren't able to provide as many supplies as they'd like to.
So people at DMAX in Moraine got together to help change that.
I'm just overwhelmed with all the teachers that's here, and especially by the little ones that's in back of me, and seeing how happy and proud they are, knowing that they're going to have what they need throughout this school year.
And for Tyrone McGuffey, this school supply drive has extra meaning.
My great nephew, Zayden McKnight, he used to go to this school before he was taken away from us in a tragic death. But through it all, we're back now to be able to not only just give back to the school, but also to him too, in remembrance of him.
Moments chock full of love and kindness. Truly the act of a group of hometown heroes.
If you know a hometown hero, let us know. Grab your phone, scan the QR code. You could chime in your submission through our app. We need a description of why they're a hometown hero and a few pictures or video.
Good morning. It is about as quiet as you could get across the Great Lakes as of right now. Still have a couple of pin dot showers up to the north, but it could be a day where we still get that whatever lingering moisture turning into, let's say, a sprinkle area of drizzle. But by and large, that'll be less so of a problem than yesterday. Yesterday we had, I wouldn't even say numerous, but there were a couple of showers in the area. Today, I don't really see much, which is good news because, of course, we've got a full slate of Friday night football here, whether it's the games that are local or out of the area, or at least out of Dayton itself. We got a whole crew scheduled to go out there, so curious to see some of the scores tonight. Now, meanwhile, temperatures going from the 70s into the 60s. Just a fantastic night for football outside. So I encourage everybody, check back in. Of course, Matt Digby and the whole team work incredibly hard at that.
Our time right now is 5:42. Trotwood and Alter play a classic game under the lights. In minutes, Matt Digby has highlights from TNL. You're watching your Last night, our crew was in Xenia for Thursday Night Lights. The Trotwood-Madison Rams taking on the Alter Knights, and Week 4 did not disappoint. Matt Digby has highlights from Doug Adams Stadium.
Last year's meeting set a high bar in terms of excitement and drama, and this year's contest between Alter and Trotwood-Madison raising that bar to another level. But Trotwood able to rally in the second half to win 35-27, their third straight win, a game where Alter set the tone early. They drive down the field to start the night. They get a touchdown, and they have a 10-point lead at two different moments in the first half. But Trotwood coming out with the momentum in the second half, scoring 28 points in the second half to extend the lead to 35-20. Alter did get a late touchdown and had an opportunity for a game-tying touchdown, but turned the ball over on downs in the final minute. And Trotwood-Madison gets their third straight win of the season, and they were the ones celebrating with the Thursday Night Lights trophy.
It's time now to celebrate. Here is your Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken TNL Thursday Night Lights Champions Trophy for you and the whole team to celebrate.
All right now.
So Trotwood-Madison now 3-1. They go for a fourth straight win next week, taking on Withrow, as Alter looks to return to the win column next week when they take on Bellbrook. As for Thursday Night Lights, we are headed to Waynesville next Thursday. The Spartans will host Oakwood in a Southwestern Buckeye League contest. In Xenia, I'm Matt Digby.
Good morning. Here's the view right now over the greater Dayton area. And boy, is it going to be a good day for some football, whether it's just playing outside with the kids or maybe just going to check out in the games. The only concern, and I use that term kind of very loosely, is because of the threat of a few showers, mainly during the afternoon and evening, kind of similar to what we saw yesterday, where we were able to develop actually a very, very broken line at one point around 3 p.m. that was crisscrossing through the Miami Valley. There was a spot or two that maybe even picked up not necessarily heavy rain, but more of a moderate rainfall. That could be the case for even into this evening, but that should fade away. For tomorrow morning, this will start to exit out. Perhaps there still could be a lingering shower. The way I would describe it is, if you go back to yesterday, we had chances of showers. Today, a chance of a shower. Tomorrow, just maybe a lingering shower, but that would be about it. Tomorrow during the daytime will be trending drier. We're pointing out both today and tomorrow should be mid to upper 70s, and we'll ditto that for Sunday. So effectively the next 3 days, almost stamp days, where we're repeating the forecast. The only thing that's different, maybe again, the aforementioned rain chances going from small to even smaller to eventually near zero. Monday, it should be fairly quiet. Monday, noteworthy because it's the only day where 80s are more likely than 70s. Tuesday, chances of rain return to the forecast. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, it is a fairly quiet morning commute thus far. Haven't seen any tie-ups or concerns. Just a reminder to take it easy, especially in the construction zones. Had an earlier incident this week that backed things up for nearly 2 or 3 hours out there.
If you're in the mood for some buttery, salty goodness, this is going to be the event to go to this weekend. It's going to be on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a weekend full of entertainment, arts and crafts, food. There's going to be a car show. A 5K kicks off on Saturday morning. And there are going to be over 200 vendors there with all kinds of crafts and, of course, popcorn-themed foods as well. And we're going to head over to this because this is going to be where you're going to get your information for parking. They've got a festival map, and they also have information about a free shuttle service that's going to run Saturday 10 a.m. to 7:30 and Sunday 11 a.m. to 5:30. That's going to be from the Beaver Valley Center parking lot. And then there's also going to be free parking at Maine Elementary School and Beaver Creek High School. Overall, it's going to be such a delicious and salty, again, buttery weekend ahead. Back to you guys.
Our time right now at 5:49. Still to come, glued to the U.S. Open, literally just ahead why the tennis match was erupted last night and an arrest made. You're watching Your Day.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Ruby Franke facing justice, expected to appear in court in just hours. The YouTube parenting influencer charged with 6 counts of felony child abuse.
I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
ABC News obtaining audio from the dramatic 911 call that led to her arrest.
Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he just came from a neighbor's house, and he's emaciated. He's got tape around his legs. He's hungry and he's thirsty.
Over a year ago, we started getting a few phone calls from neighbors and family that there was some things that need to be investigated.
And we'll tell you what's next in her case coming up at 7 a.m. with your GMA First Look. I'm Kana Whitworth, ABC News, New York.
Ready to feel what it's like when you can do more with less asthma? It's possible with Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Are you in? Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Good morning and welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio. It's starting to become sweater season out here, at least in the mornings. It's temperatures in the 60s. It's frankly pretty comfortable. 63 right now on the dot in Dayton. We've got 61 Greenville and Richmond and 64 in Urbana. We're pointing out that, like yesterday, there's still some residual humidity, but what we have noticed is it pretty become drier and drier and cooler. And those two things do go hand in hand in the morning. Now, obviously, clouds can affect it and also some other factors, wind, but that is a relationship that sometimes does work out. The point of the matter is today should be mid to upper 70s yet again. For all intents and purposes, it's similar to yesterday, just a little bit cooler in the morning and perhaps a little bit warmer during the daytime. Either way, it should be a fairly okay day if we don't see any showers.
And a warning to iPhone and iPad owners. Apple is urging users to update their operating systems immediately. The company issued an update that fixes a vulnerability that hackers may already be exploiting. It was discovered by the Citizen Lab at the University of Toronto. The security flaw exists in iOS 16.61, and experts say iPhone and iPad owners should immediately go to the settings menu on their devices. From there, select General, then Software Update. tap installed to begin the process. Behind me, Gatorade.com, the sports drink giant, getting ready for the NFL season to kick off. Gatorade also announcing a new beverage is on the way. The PepsiCo-owned brand is releasing Gatorade Water next year. The company says it is an electrolyte-infused, unflavored water with 7-step filtration process. It contains alkaline to enhances pH levels. This type of so-called functional water has become popular recently because of its alleged health benefits. But experts say there is no evidence confirming or denying those claims. You're taking a look at the U.S. Open X page. It reads, "Let's go!" Coco Gauff celebrating her semifinal victory, a special moment at Arthur Ashe Stadium, and a night the Americans will never forget. Now, the match was interrupted for 50 minutes by environmental activists, one being this man who glued his bare feet to concrete floor in the stands. That sounds like a great idea. Gauff was up by a set in 1-0 in the second when the protesters disrupted play. Both women spent time in the locker room while security tending to the man glued to the stadium. Gauff will now play number 2, Seed Arena in Sablinka. Seed Arena Sablinka tomorrow for the championship.
Yeah. So Everton, the team I watch in England, had a protester at a soccer game, and it was he tied himself by the neck to the goalpost, and it took about 40 minutes for them to get it. Of course, it was like 135th minute, and Everton won the game, and he's become a legend at the stadium because it was his moment that it basically changed the dynamic of the match. I wonder how that match got changed by it.
I always wonder how instantly people regret these decisions, though.
I don't know.
Sir, we're going to have to rip the bottoms of your feet off just to get you out of these stands.
Don't you, you think they would, call an engineer, hey, do you have any Gooby Gone? Do you have any of that in the back? Oh, yeah, and he's got to go in the back, and just like our engineers, all right, where is it? I left it by the pliers 3 weeks ago, and then I moved it over there by the scissors. Well, I'll go run to the hardware store.
Sometimes you just can't win. We got a lot more coming up on your day at 6 a.m.
Greek Fest is back, but it is a little different this year. We have all the details coming up.
C is for cookie, it's good enough for me. Cookie Master.
A cookie franchise wants to expand here in the Miami Valley. At 6, a potential location for the newest crumble cookie. You're watching Your Day. Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Nick Maruziak. Alex has the morning off, starting her weekend with a 3-day win.
Yeah, how
Must be
about
nice.
that? I just had one last weekend, loved it. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. The Beaver Creek Popcorn Festival is this weekend. Look at that happy beaver right there. Don't forget, parking can be a headache, so you definitely want to plan ahead as you head out there. 35 years.
Yeah, and you got the 5K. You also got a car show there, so a lot if you're maybe not a fan of, popcorn.
I think, I've not met a non-popcorn. There's people will find a way to like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just basically what you put on it, whether it's salt, pepper, butter, or, the white cheddar.
All the fancy stuff.
We're announcing a new addition to the lineup. You can now get Ermel's Dunkelweizen ale on tap and in 6-pack cans. I dropped my German pronunciation there, but it is a dark wheat beer, so think like caramel mixed with Hefeweizen. Sorry, I'm nerding out over here.
It's okay. I mean, you are the beer expert here at the station. I think it's just a fun word to say. Dunkelweizen.
Yep.
Right?
Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah, my wife's German. And thinking ahead to Christmas already, gingerbread homes for the holidays contest. Nick, calm down. Submissions are being accepted through September 20th. They want to be able to come up with some creative ideas here that they could put on display once the holiday festivals kind of kick off.
All right. I'll grant them that because I'm you know me, old man rant here. Let's get through October, November, and then we could start doing Christmas. Let me have my turkey and the Cowboys losing on Thanksgiving first.
Now listen, Nick, I know you get cranky, but don't forget, there's old St. Nick's always watching. You don't want to end up on the naughty list this year.
I'm already there. I've been pen in there. I've been permanent marker.
It's rock bottom. All right, top story this morning. The city of Richmond, Indiana, inviting you to join them for a prayer vigil. They're honoring the life of fallen canine officer Sierra Burton. Last August, Burton responded to a traffic stop and was shot in the head. She was rushed to Miami Valley Hospital in Dayton, where she died over a month later on September 18th. Richmond City Mayor Dave Snow says the prayer vigil today is to give her family privacy on the anniversary of her death. They'll be on the steps of the public municipal buildings starting at 6 o'clock. The Darke County Sheriff's Office now confirming a woman is dead from an explosion back in August. A camper exploded here in the 5900 block of Hahn Road, injuring 45-year-old Vicky Hartzell. Now, the Gettysburg Fire Department responded when she called 911 saying she was trapped. Crews got Hartzell out and then took her to Miami Valley Hospital. She died August 29th. The Darke County Sheriff's Office and State Fire Marshal are still investigating.
We are waking up to quiet conditions across much of the Great Lakes, with the exception of those showers in the north central part of Ohio. If you are putting the kids on a bus this morning, it should be a fairly quiet morning commute. We're really not going to see any type of heavy duty weather at all today. Kind of similar to yesterday in that we could get just a stray shower somewhere in the area, but by and large, many of us, if not all of us, will stay dry at a good portion of the day. Meanwhile, if we're going out to Friday night football, of course, it is a Friday. You got the high school games going, temperatures 70s and 60s. Of course, we are looking forward to yet another night of pigskin after the NFL kicked off last night. Reminder, we're also on social media. You can find us there on X, Instagram, Facebook. I have put your latest weather forecast. I believe today is poll question day as well as the Your Day Extra podcast as well. So that should be all a good time. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, things are fairly quiet as you head out the door.
It's finally here. The annual Dayton Greek Festival is back, but slightly different this year. Melena Brown joins us live this morning to explain it all. Melena.
Nathan, so many people, including some of you at home, absolutely love the Greek Festival and look forward to it every year. Now, as Nathan mentioned, it is a little different this year. You can see behind me, the parking lot is empty. There is no tents, and that's because they are doing a drive-through event this year. The Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church is going under some renovations, but they didn't want to cancel it altogether, so they modified. If you take a look over here, they have grills set up, they have their refrigerators. They're going to get ready to have people driving through over the next 3 days, picking up their food and getting some of their favorites. But don't worry, the festival will be back in full swing next year, but there is an easy way to order your food and pick up by day and time. On your screen now, you're going to see the menu for the Greek Fest Express. They have everything from gyros to spanakopita to pastries like baklava. And if you want to take some for the holidays, they have frozen items you can buy to take home and save. Now, if you click on the order tab, it's going to take you to where you can pick up and head to checkout. You can pick up from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. today and tomorrow, and from noon to 6 p.m. on Sunday. And you're going to want to order soon because there has been a ton of pre-orders.
I think we're looking close to 800 right now. I do believe we are out of our lamb chops, but we may be able to find some more. So that's fingers crossed.
Christina Panagolias Stevens did tell me that the Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 movie is coming out today, so she suggested that people come pick up some food and then head to the movie theater. But coming up in a bit, I am going to share a little bit of the history behind this amazing festival. Back to you.
The 17-year-old accused in the deadly shooting of a Lyft driver will now be tried as an adult. Now, Tylen Peaks will now be facing murder and aggravated robbery charges. That's according to court documents. Officials came to the decision because Peaks was mature enough to transfer out of the juvenile system. Peaks, DeTravon Mitchell, and 2 others are accused of robbing and killing 35-year-old Brandon Cooper. Tonight, the city of Trotwood hosting the first public launch for their new communication strategy project. City officials want to get feedback from everyone living in Trotwood about how they want the city to communicate with them. Information sessions are today and tomorrow at the Goodwill Easter Seals West Campus. Those times are on your screen right now. These public launch events give people an opportunity to learn more about the project. If you live in Trotwood, you can sign up for an information session and complete a survey about the project at the website on your screen. That's TrotwoodSpeaks.com. The city of West Carrollton sharing plans for major upgrades at an information session last night. Lydia Bai shares details on this exciting new river project.
A hotel, apartments, dining options, and plenty of fun here on the Great Miami River. Those are all of the things that make up the city of West Carrollton's new multi-million-dollar river district project, and city officials say there is plenty to be excited about.
People will be able to come downriver, stay there and play, or portage around and continue downriver. So it's going to be really exciting. There'll be nothing else like it in the Dayton area.
Now, as a reminder, the city is still in the planning process for this right now, but Michael Lucking did say that the final construction will be taking place in 2026. So if you want to see some photos of the construction plans, or you just want to learn more about this new River District project, head to this web story on Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
A live look this morning from the Queen City, the official home to the highest paid player in the National Football League. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals agreeing to a historic contract. According to the Associated Press, the All-Pro quarterback is reportedly signing a 5-year, $275 million contract with $219 million guaranteed. It makes him the highest paid player in the history of the league. Burrow helped lead the Bengals to a Super Bowl appearance in 2021 and an AFC Championship game appearance last year. The Bengals kick off the season Sunday in Cleveland. Should be fun. Our time right now, 6:08. Don't forget, you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen and your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials. Trotwood and Alter play a classic Under the Lights. In minutes, Matt Digby has highlights from TNL.
All right, so for Friday Night Football, it's not bad, 70s and 60s. And let's say maybe you're going to call it an early night tonight. Hey, we've all been there. Welcome to my life. Well, you got the Popcorn Festival tomorrow. Now, obviously, this is over in Beaver Creek. You do have some events early on in the morning, including, I believe, the 5K is early on. Temperature-wise, will be low 70s at about noontime. By the time we get towards 4, it'll be mid to upper 70s. So frankly, it may be just a touch on the warm side. Now we'll call it partly to mostly cloudy. There is at least a chance of a stray shower early on, but I think it's going to be well to the north. So Beaver Creek itself should stay generally dry during the daytime, and even towards the nighttime, it should be fairly comfortable with temperatures remaining in the upper 60s. Again, it's going to be a great weekend of weather for all those festivities across the area. Meanwhile, if you're just starting your morning commute, State Road 503, so that's as you start getting closer and closer to the Indiana border. That is where there is a incident right now. Other than that, nothing across the Miami Valley.
Our time right now is 6:12.
C is for cookie. That's good enough for me.
I'm here all day. I'm doing Cookie Monster impressions. Come on, let's go. Cookie franchise wants to expand here in the Miami Valley in minutes. The potential location for the newest crumble cookie. We're having fun. Last night, our crew was in Xenia for Thursday Night Lights. The Trotwood Madison Rams taking on the Alter Knights, and Week 4 did not disappoint. Matt Digby has highlights from Doug Adams Stadium.
Last year's meeting set a high bar in terms of excitement and drama, and this year's contest between Alter and Trotwood Madison raising that bar to another level. But Trotwood able to rally in the second half to win 35-27, their third straight win, a game where Alter set the tone early. They drive down the field to start the night. They get a touchdown, and they have a 10-point lead at two different moments in the first half. But Trotwood coming out with the momentum in the second half, scoring 28 points in the second half to extend the lead to 35-20. Alter did get a late touchdown and had an opportunity for a game-tying touchdown, but turned the ball over on downs in the final minute. And Trotwood Madison gets their third straight win of the season, and they were the ones celebrating with the Thursday Night Lights trophy.
It's time now to celebrate. Here is your Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken TNL Thursday Night Lights Champions Trophy for you and the whole team to celebrate.
All right now.
So Trotwood Madison now 3-1. They go for a fourth straight win next week, taking on Withrow, as Alter looks to return to the win column next week when they take on Bellbrook. As for Thursday Night Lights, we are headed to Waynesville next Thursday. The Spartans will host Oakwood in a Southwestern Buckeye League contest. In Xenia, I'm Matt Digby.
Good morning. Here's the view right now over the greater Dayton area. It is a quiet morning. Just have those clouds coming in. They're quite low clouds at that. When you start to pick them up like this, that gives you an idea that moisture is starting to get closer and closer to the surface. Not that I think it gets there and becomes a fog, but just noteworthy that it is a low cloud deck. Meanwhile, for today, mix of sun and clouds at times. At other times, more clouds than sun. I do think there could be a couple of scattered showers in the area, much like yesterday, although to a lower extent. It's one of those that we're drying things out ever so slowly across the area. Meanwhile, for Friday night, still continues with perhaps a shower or two, maybe even until Saturday morning, although I think a lot of this will either have exited out or be very, very light. Saturday, very similar to today in temperature, just a lot drier when it comes to rainfall and perhaps even some clouds. And guess what? Sunday, it's almost the exact repeat. Next 3 days, temperature-wise, I mean, this is not that big of a difference between 79 and 77. And frankly, it may be sunshine dependent across portions of the area. Monday seems to be the warm day of the week ahead as temperatures, quote unquote, climb into the low 80s. But it's really just a handful of degrees of difference. Beyond that, temperatures retreat on Tuesday. This is a cold front swings through, bringing us the next chance of rain. As for this morning, traffic is fairly light on all major interstates and state roads. Haven't seen any tie-ups or concerns as of right now.
If you're in the mood for some buttery, salty goodness, this is going to be the event to go to this weekend. It's going to be on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a weekend full of entertainment, arts and crafts, food. There's going to be a car show. A 5K kicks off on Saturday morning. And there are going to be over 200 vendors there with all kinds of crafts and, of course, popcorn-themed foods as well. And we're going to head over to this because this is going to be where you're going to get your information for parking. They've got a festival map, and they also have information about a free shuttle service that's going to run Saturday 10 a.m. to 7:30 and Sunday 11 a.m. to 5:30. That's going to be from the Beaver Valley Center parking lot. And then there's also going to be free parking at Maine Elementary School and Beaver Creek High School. Overall, it's going to be such a delicious and salty, again, buttery weekend ahead. Back to you guys.
Topping this morning's Dayton Business Journal headlines, a nation's fastest growing gourmet cookie company is eyeing another location in Fairfield Township. Crumble Cookies wants to build on Princeton Road. This adds to the chain's large and growing presence in our region. Crumble is opening at Troy Town Center by the end of September. The cookie company has at least 5 Dayton area locations already. To read more about this story and others like it, head to Dayton247now.com, click on the news tab and select Dayton Business Journal. Our time right now is 6:20. Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Just toying around. Your Facebook poll question coming up in minutes. You're watching Your Day.
It is time for Pet of the Day here on Your Day, and we celebrate your pets. And today, you know, every once in a while we get a really good story, and this one's good. Candy here was sent in by Celeste. Candy does note that, Celeste notes that Candy, sorry, got my C's mixed up there, jumped on a bus that was parked at the house and seemed very comfortable. Seemed like she knew who the driver was. That's because Celeste is the driver of said school bus. So big thank you to all those bus drivers out there. And boy, if it wasn't for, if there was a dog on a bus, boy, my bus rides as a kid would have been a whole lot better. Meanwhile, temperatures upper 60s giving way to 70s. So keep in mind today is going to be a pretty nice day if you're going to be stepping outside and trying to enjoy it. But worth pointing out that we could still see perhaps an isolated shower across the area. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, things are fairly quiet thus far. So no major incidents or concerns as of this hour. So just keep that in mind as you head out the door.
All right, it's time for your Facebook poll question this morning. We are asking you a very nostalgic question this morning, and it is, what was your favorite toy that you played with when you were a kid?
Go for it. Because I read your response and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, well, my parents actually kept a lot of my toys growing up, which was awesome. And I've been able to share a lot of those toys with my little ones and my 6-year-old Hudson, my 2-year-old Owen. And, you know, my favorites, like action figure stuff, was like Power Rangers, WWE action figures, Ninja Turtles. But the one that I play with the most with the kids is Legos.
Yeah,
I've got these big tubs of Legos, and I go through there and I remember some of the sets that I used to have, and you know, there's stuff in there from when my brother was a kid, which was back in the 80s. I was a 90s kid, and now my sons are adding to that collection, which has been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. You know, that's the one thing that obviously I don't have kids, but I would look forward to. My parents, unfortunately, had to give away a lot of my toys, including the one that I posted. It's the Little Tykes Workshop. My mom goes, when I was 2 or 3, I could not stop banging on it or doing anything. There
Oh,
you see it
yeah!
there. And I do have a distinct memory of my dad trying to do something with the floor, and he had to use my level. And I remember that because he couldn't get his own level, and he ended up like having to throw it out because it got like tar or glue on it.
You know, I had that same one, Nick. And I remember, because I think somewhere around our house, we still have the little measuring tape thing, the green and yellow thing. I recognize that. And, you know, we bought one of those for my little guys. And Hudson, when he was little and I would work out in the garage, he would come out there and pretend like he also was playing alongside me and stuff. As a dad, that just like warms your heart so much. And I'm sure your dad loved it too growing up.
Well, I'm sure I'll get a text here in a couple of minutes from my parents, like just my mom in tears, my dad going, yep. And then you turned 12 and you wouldn't help me outside when I needed you.
That's how it goes, Nick. That's how it goes. Unfortunately, once you get older, the cute loveliness stops. And what do we got right there? Is that Hot Wheels? If you know, you know. Oh, I love it. Chuck Berry hanging out there as well. All right. We gotta love to see it. We love to see your answers too. So chime in right now. We'll be back in the next hour. Our time right now, 6:26, still to come.
The Dayton Greek Fest is finally here, but slightly different this year. We have details coming up.
Hurricane Lee growing in strength immense. Nick has the massive storm out of the Atlantic. But first, here's Stacey Bell with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Noki. I've been doing a lot of research on security cameras because you have to keep your home and your family safe, and there's always a sacrifice until I found the Ola Smart Security Camera. There is nothing else like this on the market. You want to know what sets it apart? The artificial intelligence, AI. You can talk to this camera, it understands you and answers you. I could say, Ola, did Danielle come home last night? It answers me and sends me a clip of her coming into the house. It can do that because it has body, face, and voice recognition. So you can program it to recognize your family members or friends who are constantly in and out of your house. It uses an app, so it's really easy to use. Another feature that we really like is the fall alert. If you have older parents and it's hard for them to maybe get into and out of your house, Ola will alert you if they fall. You can talk to them, you can send help. And tell me this, who isn't worried about porch pirates? There's also a package alert, so you know exactly when your packages were delivered. They really thought of everything. Ola was developed by ex-military officials, and every safety feature that you could think of in a smart camera, they really did it here. Right now, we're offering 30% off on the Ola Smart Security Camera. Head over to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
I'm Nick Maruziak. Alex has the morning off.
Well, here's three quick stories to get your day started. Dayton Dragons keeping their playoff hopes alive with a walk-off winner. Check this out. Bam! Blast off. Oh, man, Dayton a buzzing on this one. Sal Stewart's home run in the bottom of the ninth put the Dragons just 2 games back at Fort Wayne with 3 to play. I'm going to be at that game on Saturday night. Look at that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Dragons have to win out, right? Doing my math right here.
I mean, that's their best bet. They got 3 games they got to, well, I guess, yeah, you're right.
They got to win out to win the second half. I'm not sure if that could work out.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will well.
Yes. There we go, old men.
All right, hurricane hunters are up and flying. So we've been watching the flight path of NOAA 43 here on FlightAware. This is taking off from St. Croix and the Virgin Islands and heading towards Hurricane Lee. Turned off its transponder as it did, so kind of curious to see when it pops back on its path in and around the hurricane.
Yeah, those folks who do that, that's a wild job.
Yeah, measured 165 mile an hour winds.
Insane.
Yeah, and they were flying in that.
Yeah, no thank you. I'm glad I'm here on the ground. Mm-hmm. And Freddie Mercury's Yamaha Baby Grand sold earlier this week for $1.7 million. The famous Queen lead man created the hit Bohemian Rhapsody on this piano. We all know the beginning part of that dun 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 dun. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I mean, you see rich people spend way too much money. This is one of those things where I'm like, all right, that seems to be a good price for it. And especially if it's, shown in a museum or something, that's where it belongs.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the great musicians, probably my favorite singer in rock and roll history.
I would agree with that too.
And now to our top story this morning. It is finally here. The annual Dayton Greek Festival is back this weekend, but a little bit different this year. So Melina Brown joins us live this morning from the area where people can be picking up meals all day long. Melina, how's it looking out there?
Well, Nathan, you and I both know so many people, including some of you watching at home, absolutely love this festival every year. And just because it's a little different doesn't make it any less exciting. You're still going to be able to get some of those Greek favorites that you love. I'm going to have you take a look over to my left. You can see that they have their grill set up, some of their refrigerators. There's also going to be some preparations going on inside. I'm going to be able to head in there in a little bit and get to show you guys some of that fun action. But this festival has a really rich history. It has started over 60 years ago as a way for the church parish members to come together and have a yearly picnic, but it quickly grew into a community festival. So on your screen now, you're going to see the menu for the Greek Fest Express. They have everything from gyros to spanakopita to pastries like baklava. And if you want to have some for the holidays, they have frozen items you can buy to take home and save. Now, if you click on the order tab, it's going to take you to where you can pick what you want and then head to checkout. And you're going to be able to pick up from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. today and tomorrow, or from noon to 6 p.m. on Sunday. But don't worry if you aren't able to make it out this year, but you always love the festival. It's going to be back in full swing next year with all of the Greek cuisine, the dancing, the festivities. You can even go inside the church. So don't worry, next year it's going to be back. Back to you.
All right, right now we are tracking Hurricane Lee, is now a Category 5 storm. Meteorologist Nick Maruziak. I've been tracking this closely for us. Nick, it's been a wicked hurricane season so far.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, we've had two major hurricanes, one that made landfall in Florida, and then we had this one that's Category 5. That's about as strong as it gets. And this one's got the potential, maybe not necessarily 100% sure that it's going to hit, let's say, the highest ever. But based on the fact that it's in a favorable environment, it could get even stronger, Nathan. It's already at Category 5. We're pointing out that, look at the path, though. Here are your islands. So this is going out to sea. That's good news. The only question mark is, where exactly does the ridge end up? And because of that, we're not quite sure where it ends up at this point. Optimistically, it goes out to sea. Pessimistically, still could pose an impact risk to parts of the country.
I prefer the optimistic point of view, especially when it comes to natural disasters. And of course, Nick, here at home, we're dealing with a lot different weather.
Yeah, it's frankly very, very quiet. So let's get to it. And today, cloudy skies across the area. Temperatures going from the 60s this morning into the mid 60s and eventually near 70 degrees. Again, cloudy, but every once in a while you'll get a break in the clouds. It may take until probably mid to late morning for some of us. Now, if let's say you're going out to the high school football games, of course, last night we had the Thursday night lights. Today we've got Friday night football. Matt Digby and the team are going to go out there and do film a bunch of games. I'm excited because I love high school football season. And oh yeah, I love when it's weather like this as well because it's fantastic. And you can read all about it coming up on our, on our Facebook page. I've already posted it. See, that's what overachieving does for you. You even forget that you overachieve. Now, meanwhile, if you're on the roads this morning, a couple of things worth pointing out. Accident on 741. So that's the Springboro Pike. That is, it goes towards Dorothy Lane. So I believe that's in the General Kettering area as well. Then Finley Street and Springfield. Incident there, but interstates and state roads are looking good right now.
A man is expected to survive after being shot in the back in Jefferson Township. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office says it happened just before 3 p.m. yesterday. Officers found the man injured on State Route 35 near 3rd Street. Deputies confirm it all started at the Olive Hill Apartments nearby on Bronson Street. The shooter is still under investigation. And Kettering City Schools announcing changes to its Rush Stadium policy. This after a teen student allegedly brought a gun to the football game against Trotwood. New rules are posted to their Facebook page. Now, students will need to be in the bleachers at all times. They will now have to enter and exit through specific gates. The team's next home game is tonight against Northmont.
Going back? Yes. We are going back to work.
I'll be happy to see my kids. I'm happy to go back to work, and just thankful that we could come to an agreement that works for everybody.
Lakota school bus drivers are back on the job today. Yesterday, the union approved a tentative agreement with the district. Now, 86% of members approved the deal. The main problem leading to the strike wasn't pay, but instead about surveillance cameras and accountabilities. The new agreement allows the company to look at bus video and discipline drivers only for cardinal sins like fighting, dishonesty, alcohol or drug concerns, but not for lesser offenses. Our time right now, 6:38. Don't forget, you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen and your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials. A school supply drive with extra meaning today in Hometown Hero. Adam Arrow highlights an area company stepping up to help area students. You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Severe weather moved through the Washington, D.C. and Baltimore areas Thursday, putting a damper on September's sizzling temperatures. The harsh weather did not blanket the entire area. Fallen trees and power lines reported in some places, while others were spared around D.C. Closer to Baltimore, some were pelted with hail up to the size of silver dollars.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Good morning and welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio. Much like yesterday, it is cooler than the day before, but what we are continuing to see is not only cooler but somewhat drier conditions outside. Temperature-wise, we're basically in the 60s, low 60s, some of us mid 60s as of right now. We do expect these temperatures to continue to stay maybe not necessarily well below average, but somewhere in a ballpark of average. 59 right now in Richmond's cool spot. Okay, so we have one upper 50, but again, for this time of year, average lows in the low 60s, average high is actually in the low 80s. So effectively, we are kind of right around it. We're just going to fall short during the daytime. We're pointing out that right now I'm looking up towards the sky. I think there's an overcast. I say I think because can't really see too much as of right now, but again, based on everything I know, everything I've seen, I think it, again, overcast skies. Temperatures today into the 70s. Frankly, it should be fairly comfortable. The only concern would be 1 or 2 showers are possible.
Joining together to help area students. A local company did that and a whole lot more this week. Adam Merrill shows us how they're hometown heroes.
With never-ending smiles, children at Edison Elementary School in Dayton discover a treasure trove.
It's like Christmas, you know, they're coming in, the beautiful book bags, the pencils, the pens, everything brand new. We know due to the economy, a lot of our families aren't able to provide as many supplies as they'd like to.
So people at DMAX in Moraine got together to help change that.
I'm just overwhelmed with all the teachers that's here, and especially by the little ones that's in back of me, and seeing how happy and proud they are, knowing that they're going to have what they need throughout this school year.
And for Tyrone McGuffey, this school supply drive has extra meaning.
My great nephew, Zayden McKnight, he used to go to this school before he was taken away from us in a tragic death. But through it all, we're back now to be able to not only just give back to the school, but also to him too, in remembrance of him.
Moments chock full of love and kindness. Truly the act of a group of hometown heroes.
And if you know someone that's a hometown hero, please let us know. Grab your phone and scan the QR code. You can chime in your submission through our app. We just need a description of why they're a hometown hero and a few pictures or video. Our time right now, 6:45. A live look at the Gem City this morning, thanks to SkyCam. Now, festivals, football, and fun. A big weekend awaits just ahead. Nick's got your forecast. You're watching Your Day.
Time to do some weather here where we're waking up to cloudy skies over Dayton. Not exactly a picturesque start to the morning, but nonetheless, it's one that we have. And there was always someone I followed who once said, well, it's the weather we're going to have to enjoy. As for today, it should be a fairly quiet day in terms of temperatures. In terms of rainfall, still could be a couple of showers around the area. So keep in mind, this is not a 10 out of 10 forecast. It is another day where some of us maybe not necessarily need the umbrella, but we may need to just kind of keep an eye on the radar if we're going to be outside for a while and don't want to get wet. Meanwhile, in terms of temperature, again, upper 70s today, so it isn't going to be particularly that cold. We're not talking about that cold rain. This is actually more or less a mild, almost a humid rain. Tonight, 62. We'll call partly to mostly cloudy. That's for the vast majority of the area. But even worth pointing out, up until tomorrow morning, there still could be a couple of showers. I don't really see rain in the forecast either for the Popcorn Festival in Beaver Creek. The concern is if one of those pin dot showers ends up just popping up over the park or something similar, that's about it. And even that chance is remote. It's just, you know, it's in a realm of possibilities. For Tuesday, temperatures upper 70s with chances of rain. And then for Wednesday into Thursday, that's the next cool down. In fact, Thursday of next week, it may be a case where some of us don't get out of the 60s, so much cooler weather will be here. If you are heading on the roads this morning, it's been a fairly quiet morning commute thus far. Don't really see anything that is going to change that, so keep in mind as you head out the door.
Our time right now is 6:51. Pay that man his money. Looking live from the Queen City. Lights on from Paycor Stadium in minutes. The new contract for Joe Burrow.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, I'm tracking Hurricane Lee, and we've got confidence high that Cat 5 stays just north of most of the islands in the Eastern Caribbean, those northern Leeward Islands. But then that all-important turn, how close will it get? What will the impacts be along the East Coast and to Bermuda? Also ahead, 3 teachers competing in our back-to-school battle right here in Times Square.
She died on August 29th. The Darke County Sheriff's Office and State Fire Marshal are still investigating. Tonight, the city of Trotwood is hosting the first public launch event for their new communication strategy project. City officials want feedback from everyone living in Trotwood about how they want the city to communicate with them. Information sessions are today and tomorrow at the Goodwill Easter Seals West Campus. Those times are on your screen right now. These public launch events give people an opportunity to learn more about the project. If you live in Trotwood, you can sign up for an information session and complete a survey about the project at the website on your screen. That's TrotwoodSpeaks.com. The city of West Carrollton sharing major plans for upgrades at the information session last night. Lydia Bice shares details on this exciting new river project.
A hotel, apartments, dining options, and plenty of fun here on the Great Miami River. Those are all of the things that make up the city of West Carrollton's new multi-million-dollar river district project, and city officials say there is plenty to be excited about.
People will be able to come downriver, stay there and play, or portage around and continue downriver. So it's going to be really exciting. There'll be nothing else like it in the Dayton area.
Now, as a reminder, the city is still in the planning process for this right now, but Michael Lucking did say that the final construction will be taking place in 2026. So if you want to see some photos of the construction plans, or you just want to learn more about this new River District project, head to this web story on Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
It is finally here. The annual Dayton Greek Fest is back, but slightly different this year. Melena Brown joins us live to explain it all. Melena, I always love the gyro and a little bit of baklava, my favorites.
Oh, me too, Nathan. I would eat everything here if possible, honestly. But we do know, like you said, it is a little bit different this year. So you can see right behind me, they have some grills set up because again, they are doing a drive-through this year. That's because the church is going under through some renovations. But don't worry, the full festival will be back next year. And there's an easy way to order your food and pick it up through whatever day and time that you like. So on your screen right now, you can see the menu for the Greek Fest Express. They have everything from gyros to spanakopita to pastries like baklava. And if you want some for the holidays, they have frozen items that you can take home with you. If you click on the order tab, it's going to take you to where you can pick what you want and then head to checkout. You can pick up from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. today and tomorrow, and from noon to 6 p.m. on Sunday. And if you want to, you're going to want to order soon because there has been a ton of pre-orders.
I think we're looking close to 800 right now. I do believe we are out of our lamb chops, but we may be able to find some more. So that's fingers crossed.
Now,